everyone, and welcome to the 30-Day Summit, where Russell Brunson has brought together a collection of his top 2 Comma Club and 8-figure award winners to share with you how they would literally survive and begin to rebuild their business in just 30 days if they lost it all. My name is Bailey Richard, and right now I'm delighted to be speaking with Rhonda Swan. Just like you, world traveler, online brand strategist, social media expert, and best-selling author Rhonda Swan has experienced the online world and the digital economy to find numerous ways over the last 13 years. Rhonda's work has been featured in Forbes, Business Insider, and the Huffington Post. She retired herself and her husband from corporate 13 years ago and has now traveled the world full-time for the last 10 plus years with her unstoppable family. Their message is living your perfect day every day, all while inspiring the world to connect, live free, and to build a brand that leaves a legacy that they are proud of. So Rhonda, welcome to the summit.
Hey, Bailey, thank you so much. I am really honored and excited to be here. And what I'm ready to share is I love this question because this is exactly the strategy that I utilized 10 years ago when we lost everything and we actually did have to start over. And it's the same exact strategy that I'm still utilizing today to not only build our brand, build our businesses, launch webinars, fill them with actually not having to add on or spend additional money on marketing. So I'm really excited to be sharing it.
Well, it's such an honor and a pleasure to have you here. And I'd really love to start off diving into your 30-day plan by asking you if you could share with us a 10,000-foot bird's eye view. What's going to be going on during the 30 days, and what is it that you are looking to accomplish?
Yeah, okay. So the 21-day plan is really a step-by-step strategy. It's part of my sexy brand building formula that I created that allows not only small business owners, new marketers to be able to apply right away. So it's something that anyone can do, whether you're advanced or you're a beginner, because what most people teach is more of the why and the who. And what I want to share with everyone is really what and the how. Like exactly what do you need to do every single day and how are you going to do it? I'm not going to leave anything up for question because I believe that structure gives us freedom. And the main objective here with this specific plan is a exact structure of what to do every single day. Because the strategy is something that any level of business owner can really use to build their brand, to launch a product, because it's focused on providing value to the audience and gaining trust with your knowledge before actually making an offer. It's the invisible difference that I like to call it that you make subconsciously in the mind of your audience or your followers by solving problems in a very strategic way. So let me explain what I mean by that. I really call it the runway to the money strategy, right? Because most people utilize Facebook Lives and they don't have a structure to them, so they're really not effective. This plan here specifically, when you take a 30-foot view above, it's about every day watching and understanding what your audience is doing, how are they reacting to your content, solving a problem in micro bits so that you can then guide them and lead them all the way to the ultimate, which is your webinar and making an offer. So most business owners, and marketers, they get lost right from the start because they don't have a structure. And many people are very inconsistent. So utilizing a plan like this, and you don't have any money to start with, you got to have a really strong plan, because if you're not consistent, what happens? Your audience is going to look for other people. And if you don't have a true, not only structure to what you do every day, how you deliver the content, but also how you structure the lives that you're going to use, because we use Facebook Live in this program, that we're going to lose our audience. And it's something that a marketer or someone that's new can actually follow every day to get very predictable results at the end of your webinar. So I love it. And it literally allows me to now fill all my webinars by creating that invisible difference in the front end without even realizing that you've made a difference, and they don't realize that you made a difference in their life. And then they get to your webinar and what you offer just makes sense.
Okay, fantastic. Well, in your answer, you just mentioned a really important word that comes up in your plan a lot, which is structure. So you say that through these 21 days, what you're actually going to be doing is doing a daily Facebook Live and producing a lot of educational content for your audience through that platform. And in fact, there's a very specific structure that you believe in for how to put on a good Facebook Live. So my questions for you are, why Facebook Live? Why is this going to be the primary method through which you're going to deliver your content? And then also, could you share with us the structure that you believe is for a good Facebook Live?
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to do consistent Facebook Lives and have a really consistent structure to doing it. Let me explain what I mean. So it's not only the structure, how we're going to deliver, but now I mean how we structure the Facebook Lives. Why Facebook Live? Well, it's where the world is playing, right? So we got 1.5 billion active users every single day on Facebook. Facebook launched the live stream platform and they love it. And they want us to use it because, of course, it's social. And now that Facebook is giving us so much insights, it's easy for us to find a very specific person that will love what we talk about. They will share what we talk about. And we know that we can be very targeted, laser beam focused here. So this whole plan is about finding that one person that we can help transform, and that one person, or 30 in this case, will buy at the very end of the webinar. That's all our goal is. We need to hit 30K in 30 days, and we have to find 30 people to buy, right? So that's all we're focusing on. Now, what I love too about Facebook Lives is because it allows us to give a lot more interaction, transparency. We know that Facebook Live gets 10 times more comments, shares, and engagement, which then what happens? Facebook helps build that audience, which helps you grow. So that's why we use it in this plan. Now, I also love it because it's absolute content, uniqueness, right? It allows you to provide unique content. It gives transparency to people. It keeps it very real, right? It allows us to separate the BSers from the real people, like the true best kept secrets, can use Facebook Live and literally crush it. 81% of users said they preferred watching Facebook live streams because it gives a real and reality message over they did even just a year ago. So it's hot, and that's why we use it. Provides instant, real-time source of content that our viewers love. They can consume quickly. It's low cost. You don't have to edit. You don't have to have software. So anyone can jump on and provide content or value. But again, the biggest part about this is the structure. Structure is key to this plan. So let me give you the exact structure that we use in the Facebook Live. And it does have to be followed to the T, because psychologically, we are now gaining some trust by not only preserving and respecting the time of our audience, but we're delivering them content that they need right now. So there's 4 parts to the Facebook Live structure. 1 is the setup. 2 is what's the payoff? What are they going to get? 3 is the call to action and the open loop. And let me go through those exact structures. So number 1, the setup. Now, because we don't have a lot of time, we know that we have to catch the attention of the audience immediately. There is so much going on. So how do you become the one that they watch? In the first 6 seconds, we have to tell them what's being covered in that topic today. And it's got to be hooky. Now, in the setup of the chapter, the first week was about planning. So we've already planned, we know the keywords, we know what our audience is looking for, we know the topics we're gonna cover. So the setup, we must state what we're gonna talk about right away in the headline and right away in the opener so that people know exactly. Now, this is the thing. Stop waiting for people to arrive at this point. These are specifically created for an objective. These are not lives you're just chatting. That's why a lot of people fail at doing live, because they aren't hitting the mark every time. So they lose that audience. You've got to hit the mark every time, and you have to have an objective. So for these here, they're no longer than 15, maximum 20 minutes long. So now let's go into number 2, which is the payoff. What's the payoff of this content? What are these people going to get from this topic? You have to give, it's the exact 1 to 3 points that you're going to discuss or solve for your audience in that short time frame. Give them something actionable that they can do in that day, or that they can at least create more of a aha moment for them. This content should be no more, again, 10 to 15, maximum 20 minutes long. And you're going to hit on 1 to 3 specific points that audience can gain a a result from. Remember, you've got to be strategic in this because your webinar is going to close them. So if you're already hitting on the points and then your webinar reconfirms what you've been talking about, boom, now you're getting buyers, right? That's the whole objective. So number 3, though, is the call to action. Now, in the first week of this plan, we don't give any hard calls to action. There's a hard and a soft. First week, no hard. You give them a soft, like, hey, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to be here tomorrow at this time every single day for the next 21 days. You have to have a set time when you're going to show up. You've got to be consistent because that's what people are looking for. So the call to action in the beginning is soft. Second week and third week, you're going for hard calls to action, like download my ebook now, right? Get access to my free content right now. Register for the webinar. Okay, so every structure, every live has to have a call to action, whether it's soft or hard. 4, that is the open loop. Now, this is where we keep them cliffhanging to make them sure they show up to our live the very next day. Similar to us binge watching Netflix, right? How many of us binge watch Netflix? It's because they cliffhang you. They have an open loop that makes you want to come back. So that's what we do in our lives. So for instance, you may having a topic of the live, and then you want to keep them coming back. So your open loop is join me tomorrow at 6 p.m. because I'm going to talk about how your garbage content could be crushing your brand, right? A negative open loop keeps people coming back. So like, my content's garbage, or how to identify between good content and bad content, or how I'm going to talk to you about how this one bit of food is causing belly fat. Like that is a major topic in an open loop that's going to make many people want to come back, especially their health and fitness. So the point is with the open loop, keep them coming back so that they're like, oh my gosh, I have to be there for that. So that right there is the structure for not only planning the content, but the structure of the Facebook Lives and why we utilize Facebook Live in such a powerful way, but why it's effective in this scenario if you follow the exact strategy and the structure. We don't have a lot of time here. So we've got to get audience's attention. We got to get know, like, and trust from them right away. We got to provide them with content and get them Pied Pipering, I like to call it, all the way to our webinar because our objective is 30K in these 30 days. 30 people is all we need. And I know we can do that if we're delivering this kind of content.
Okay, fantastic. I love it. So now we have not only a structure and a plan for how we're supposed to put together our Facebook Lives over the course of those 21 days, but we also have a specific structure for how we're supposed to be doing each one of the individual Facebook Live videos. So great. Now what I'd like to do is move on to the funnels. In your 30-day plan, you say specifically there's 2 funnels you'll need to create that you'll be using. The first one is going to be a lead magnet funnel with a tripwire, and the second one is going to be the webinar funnel. So I'd like to ask you what the purposes of each one of these 2 funnels are in your plan, and how do they work together to help you accomplish your goals?
Yes. Okay. So there's 2 funnels that I really recommend. I think that anyone really needs, but I also recommend in this chapter because the 2 funnels are a lead magnet funnel with a tripwire and a webinar funnel. They're literally the only thing that we actually need to grow a list, to build trust, to get some front end micro buying commitments with a tripwire so that we can start seeing who could be potential buyers for our product during our webinars. And really, it's probably one of the 2 easiest that can be set up right away. So the 21-day plan, on the first week, we don't give any links away. But the second week, we give a ebook or some type of a lead magnet. I'm not going to go into the details of what those are, but it allows you to give them some really high value content in exchange for their email. Because statistics show that most buyers that see your content, sometimes it takes them up to 17, 20 plus times before they actually make a decision to work with you or to buy. So if we're giving free value without ever, asking for anything in return, just giving them free value for an email, then we can guarantee that they're going to stay in that conversation with us. And whether they buy from the webinar or not, you're still capturing that list. So that's why I absolutely say free value, capture the lead, and then the tripwire in that funnel, and I'll go through that when I do my walkthrough. The tripwire is probably one of the best because it now allows us to provide extra value in the thank you page, or I like to call it the value video page. they've downloaded the book, or they've gotten access to the lead magnet. And then now you are providing a value video. Now, I recommend this value video on the thank you page anywhere from 15 to even up to 20 minutes long, like something that's really deep, intense that you're teaching, that people are like, wow, they are really giving me free value. But the objective here is that you provide them with a tripwire offer, that's something they can use now. Now, we've tested different tripwire price points. 47 seems to be the sweet spot. We started with $7, 37, 47, even up to 97 in a tripwire. And 47 seems to be the sweet spot. And it's because of the content that we provided in that value video. So I actually teach them a strategy, and then I offer to them to get the full structure that I just taught them, right? So you give them enough value that makes them go, oh man, I need this. And guaranteeing that they can do it. It's got to be something they can actually apply right now, or that they really, truly, truly need. And the tripwire allows us to now, first off, get intel who could be potential buyers. Secondly, it also allows us to start paying and earning on the front end, because we are going to be adding in some paid traffic. Not a lot, but we will be adding in paid traffic, and it allows us to break even on our traffic if you have a tripwire that converts and that people want. And most importantly, it now is guiding and building a lot of know, like, and trust with our list. Second is the webinar funnel. I mean, we got to have a place and a way for us to sell. And when you're leading people through with all these value videos in a live, and you're giving them a tripwire, it's again that invisible difference that's leading them into this webinar. And on week 3, it's all about registration to this webinar, so we can finally make our offer. And it's the easiest way for anyone, especially if you have low budget, is to get your content in front of the right people. And it allows you to make an offer the cheapest way. And you can do it over and over and over again with little to no prep time. So a webinar funnel, ideal, basic registration into another bit of value. You make your offer, boom, you now get clients, those 30 in 30 days. And a webinar can be done over and over again. And a webinar matches perfectly with the 21-day plan, with the tripwire, and it's something that you can keep using.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks for sharing with us all about your funnels in this plan. Now, one of the things that I'd like to move on to now and ask you about is paid traffic. So you're doing all of these Facebook Live videos, and one of the things that you mentioned in your plan and actually go pretty deep into detail talking about is how you can actually utilize your Facebook Live videos as part of your paid traffic strategy. So I would love to ask you a little bit more about that.
Yes, okay, so we do use paid traffic a bit. Now, I've not always utilized paid traffic. You can literally do this plan with no marketing dollars at all. In fact, I've done it and sold like, I don't know, a couple $100,000 off of a webinar. But of course, that was a different scenario because I did have an audience, right? So this scenario, we don't have an audience, so we're trying to gain know, like, and trust very quickly. And what we do then with Facebook ads is we've got 3 full weeks of video ad content. In the beginning, it's 2 full weeks. And in the first week, again, there's no links. So what we do after the first 2 videos, we now look at what the engagement was. What were people liking? Were they sharing it? And then what we do, now we place a Facebook ad. Facebook ads, they're really the best place for us to find the exact person. We can bullseye them. We know what they like. We know that they are the right person. So we then start targeting these lives to a very specific targeted audience that we want to sell to in our webinar. Now in my chapter, I literally go through step by step. I'm not going to do that here. And so we do that for each and every one of these lives. So that means we either do a very quick boost and target. If there's one that's really nailing it, then we keep marketing it. So we stay in front of this audience. What we're doing is we're building video views. We're now building an audience of video views that have watched our content, so that now the next week, week 2, when we're actually giving them ebooks and we're giving them more free content, we now can then retarget those videos to that same audience. So what's that doing? It's allowing us to grow video view audience, allowing us to grow that like and trust in a much quicker but more warm, connected way. So we use Facebook ads to do exactly that. We use sponsored ads, and then we are now solving a problem and we're providing them value, And we do this each and every day. Now, I recommend spending $5 to $10 a day each video, especially in the beginning if you don't have a lot of budget. In this chapter, I literally found a way to find just enough money to help market these lives so that what we're doing by the time we get to week 3, that's the webinar registration. Now we've not only got intel day to day because we're seeing what people like, we're getting engagement, we're getting responses, we're getting shares. Second week, we're giving them a lead magnet. Now we have people in our list. If they bought your tripwire, you're starting to now gain an audience that knows that and likes and trusts you that you can make an offer to. And it's now allowing us to gain more credibility. So when we start asking them to register for this webinar, they already like us. Again, it's that invisible difference on the front end. So I love using Facebook ads just to keep that movement and keep that targeting, because in the future, not everyone's going to buy. But if we now have them in our list, we make that offer, we can do it again. So that's why we use Facebook ads.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing with us all of that about your paid Facebook ad strategy. We do need to keep moving on in your 30-day plan though, and we are coming up now on your final week, which is when your webinar is actually going to be going live. So I would love to hear anything and everything that you would like to share with us specifically about what's going on in the final week of your plan, especially related to your webinar.
Yes. Okay. The webinar, that's the final week. So in the webinar final week, this is now, we are building hype within our current followers. We are seeding to them what we're going to be doing and teaching on this webinar or masterclass. I like to use workshop masterclass. I haven't been using webinars as much because I want people to really see that we're doing something different, so you get creative. But it's about building hype that whole last week. And we're, again, targeting our video view audiences with our webinar registration. So we're guiding them all the way through to registering all the way up until that final day. Even on the morning of or the day or the evening of your webinar, you go live again, like, guys, everyone, I'm going to go live tonight. I'm so pumped. Remember, I'm going to talk about these very specific things. You're going to get this very specific results during this webinar. Make sure you show up live because I'm not going to do a replay. So that whole last week is now about you getting back those people that have been following. You're asking them to share, you're asking them to invite people, and you get them to register for that webinar. Now, the way we have it set up, and I'll explain this when I do my funnel walkthrough, is that we guide them through registering. They get a thank you video, which is even more of a value video. We're not necessarily selling anything. Sometimes I do an OTO, but we're giving them some value, some downloadable material to prep them for your webinar. And then 2 days before, we will give them another value video to prep them. So now they're like, whoa, there's so much here. I have to be on this webinar. And then the final day, that's when you make your offer. That's when you're on point. You deliver your content. You've got your very specific targeted audience on the webinar with you. Meaning, remember, we're only looking to close 30. So if we've got 100 to 150 people on a webinar live, chances are you're going to be able to close minimum 10% on the front end, up to even 20% on that webinar. Now we're getting closer to our 30K. Now, of course, we've now making an offer to the webinar for $997. I'm going to start with a course or something that allows us to, you don't even have to make it, right? In the book I talk about, we do the build the plane while you fly it strategy of our product. Means it doesn't even have to be ready. You're just making the offer for $997. And then once you get your buyers, you can then build the plane while you're flying it. It allows you to fund, right, the creation of the product. Doesn't take a lot of front end money at all because you're not building the product as of yet. You're now learning what they really, really want so that you can then create it to what that audience really wants. So we have, once we sell the $997, now we've got, and we begin to build upon Ascension, which then of course allows us to have a 2 Comma Club funnel that I will be sharing with everyone in my walkthrough. So that's what we do the final week. The 21-day plan works. I've got thousands of people that have used it. I personally use it myself. Lives, very consistent. I'll do a little recap. It's a 21-day plan. First week is structuring all of your content, structuring everything that you need, the topics, doing research. Then you hit hard on that 21 days. Same time every day. Even give it a show name, right? Give your content a name so that they show up every day. You can't miss the days though, because if you miss it, they're not going to trust you because you're not coming back. You follow the Facebook Live structure, setup, payoff, call to action, and open loop. You only go for 15, 20 minutes maximum long. You guide them into registering for your upcoming webinar, and then you nail it at the end of the webinar, and you close those audiences at the 997s. And then, of course, there is a back-end follow-up that we do that brings people to the back end. This offer is going away, and we have a 4-sequence follow-up that we do in the very back end of the webinars. And we typically get about another 10 to 20% buyers even after the webinar is over. So that's how we run it. I'm super excited to be able to share that, especially in the book. I go in a lot more detail. But Bailey, thank you so much for giving me the space to be able to share what we do. And I'm really excited to see some of the results from those of you that are implementing the content.
Fantastic. Rhonda, thank you so much for sharing all of the incredible value that you have on today's interview. We really appreciate it. For those of you watching at home who are ready to embark on your own 30-day path to success, I have something awesome to share with you. It is called the One Funnel Away Challenge. You can learn more and upgrade today by clicking the button on this page. You are going to be getting an opportunity to craft your own customized and personalized 30-day plan to success and getting your next award-winning funnel launched with the help of a ClickFunnels 2 Comma Club coach. But that's not all you'll be receiving. You are also going to be getting some incredible bonuses, including a physical copy of the 30-Day Summit book, where we've compiled all of the written 30-day plans from all of the speakers on this event, unlimited access to the interview that you just saw with Rhonda, and of course, all of the other speakers being featured on the summit. And this is my favorite part. You are going to be getting a second bonus behind-the-scenes interview that I recorded with every single summit speaker, where they're going to be showing me via screen share how they've actually set up their award-winning funnels. Truly, the value inside of those videos is incredible. It's out of this world, and I do not want you to miss out on that. So make sure that you click the button on this page to learn more about the One Funnel Away Challenge and upgrade today. And Rhonda, one more time, thank you so much for being a part of the summit. We really appreciate it.